Hello, Virgo family, and welcome to December 2019. An interesting time of year. I think a really lovely and warm time of year for Virgo energy in general. I really enjoy the feeling of Sag into Capricorn energy for you. Of course, Sag season, so much about your fourth house, your sense of home, your sense of intuitive guidance, your sense of mothering. And then that moves into your fifth house in Capricorn, which is so much about your creative voice and your creative outlet. And there's some really beautiful energy moving to infuse that fifth house heart chakra energy this month because Jupiter is moving into Capricorn. And I think for Virgos, that's going to feel really, really good. There's a focus here on how you can use your gifts and your skills in new ways, how you can express that creative voice in ways that feel really good to you. If you're interested in learning more about Jupiter and Capricorn and how that is going to have such a different flavor than this last year has had, I have a beautiful video about that on Patreon. So if you've joined me there already, thank you so much. If you want a lot more about the year ahead, please go join me on Patreon. I'm going to be adding so much more about what transits are happening and how to work with the planets and how to work with 2020 energy, because the collective, it's just very different energy than what we've been doing in the past, and this year has really calibrated us to some new energy. So for you all, this is what I would say. We have Jupiter moving into your fifth house. We have a new moon eclipse once the sun moves into Sagittarius or into Capricorn. We have all that fifth house energy lit up, and then we have a new moon eclipse in Capricorn on December 26th. And that is giving you kind of a fresh look and perspective on your creative gifts, on where you want to use that heart chakra energy. It's the childlike play and joy of creativity. There's like all roads are open kind of feel. And of course, before that, we have a full moon in Gemini on the 12th, and that's going to be in your 10th house of who you are in the world. So these moons and the way the moons are paying, they're really paying up on how you use your skills and your gifts and your heart with the world and on your journey. And I have a really interesting message for Virgos this month that came to me as I was wandering around on a walk the other day, getting some fresh air while it's still light out. And this is the message that came through. It's so important for you, and take some time this December. Whoa, Four of Cups wanted to join the party right away. To find your sense of home deep within yourself. Nine of Wands. Okay, some reflection going on here, my Virgo friends. Some deep reflection. Once again, the sun in Sagittarius, well, that's a really fun, fiery, playful sun transit. Sun loves being in Sagittarius, so there's a natural affinity this time of year. For you, it takes you internal, it takes you behind the scenes into that home environment, and so you are reflecting a little bit. But back to the note. This is a year to find that sense of home in yourself. Wow, we're getting all the feels here, Virgo. What is going on? Lots of looking back, lots of reflecting, which is very interesting because almost all the planets are going to be direct by the time we hit into December. Even Chiron is going direct on December 12th. Mercury will leave its post-shadow phase on the 7th and be moving on into Sagittarius. Everything's very much about the future. These eclipses and the winter solstice and the new year, it's all like, and Virgos, you're over here like looking over your shoulder at all that's behind you. That's okay. That's okay. Often those energies come up when we are about to be making a really big change in our lives. And it's a little scary, it's a little intense, and it's okay to need, Four of Wands, yeah, it's okay to need a moment to breathe and incorporate. And that is because, like I was saying, Chariot. That is because, like I was saying, when you're going to need that sense of home in yourself and that sense of self-trust and that really good, ooey-gooey feeling that we get from a home environment, but it has to be within us. It's something that has to crystallize within us, and you especially need it in years and in months, and this is a little pre-shadow, the High Priestess, of the fact that it's going to be a very dynamic year ahead for you. There's going to be a lot of change. There's going to be a lot of commitment to new things. And Seven of Pentacles, more assessment. And when we know our lives are not going to look the same in even a couple of months, and we know that we're making new, of course we're going to stop and look over all of that. Of course we're going to stop and take a moment to just Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. That's the feeling. As soon as I tapped into Virgo energy, of course I have a Virgo moon, so I'm very tied to this energy, more so than I probably even consciously think about in a given day, but it's definitely there for me. This message just came through. There's just a change. It's time. It's time for things to shift. It's time for things to go. It's time for things to move into new territory. It's just happening. It's just happening. And so, yeah, this assessment energy is not surprising at all. I think Virgos, even though you're mutable, you're a mutable earth. And mutable earth is going to have a sense of balance where you can change, you can roll with the punches, you can make it happen, you can transmute, you can shift gears, but you want to look around you a little bit. I think Virgos definitely need moments of calm within the storm to just incorporate. If you constantly have energy coming at you, people talking to you in projects 100% of the time, and you never get those points of check-in, you feel a little out of control. So it's not surprising that there's some reflexivity going on here, because especially with these positive, buoyant cards of growth and expansion, this is a big time, So we'll talk through these first three cards because they are very reflective. There's a sense of nostalgia, of internal thought, of slowdown, of integration going on here. On different levels, these all really work in different ways. It's really interesting to see them all come together here because first we have this Four of Cups. Now the Four of Cups, it's kind of like, it can sometimes feel a little bit impatience or like, where's my answer? Where is the clarity that I'm waiting for? Come on. But the way that I went to flip that on its head, and the more I've worked with tarot and the more I've worked with the Four of Cups energy over the years, the more I've realized this is a really important time of divine connection where, you have everything you need. You are culminating and you are understanding what's already been given to you, and you are preparing your soil because this cup coming in right here is big. It's not like small fry stuff when you have the Four of Cups. It's not like you're going to just, somebody's going to buy you a cup of coffee and it's like surprise. I mean, yes, that's great. Okay, great. It's a great synchronicity. It's a great energetic boost. This cup in this four is like big. This is a cup from the hand of God being handed to you, right? So the cup of the divine, the cup of that way bigger wholeness that we can't conceptualize in our conscious mind is coming in. Therefore, if we're not prepared for it, it's just going to blow our minds, right? So there's a moment here of just like, take it in, reset, use this time wisely. Now, hand in hand with that, why do you need maybe a time to reset? Your wounded warrior may be having some questions for you about what this is next ahead. The Nine of Wands likes to come in when we have maybe been through some storms, we've been through some trials, we've been through a lot of energetic shift or change, and we are kind of looking around because there's all this new stuff coming in. Can we trust it? Maybe we should stay here and stay on our guard. Maybe we should just stick with what we already know, right? So part of what you're needing is maybe the first week of this month, as that post-shadow phase finishes out with Mercury, as we get used to Jupiter being in Capricorn, as we build up to the full moon in Gemini, just take some time, if there's any resistant parts of yourself, to incorporate them. Now, the other thing that's getting incorporated to prepare for this giant cup of bigness is the Six of Cups, right? Now, Six of Cups is complex energy, and yes, it's beautiful, it's sweet, it's nostalgic, it can take you back to places in your past. And often we need to kind of circle back and do that deja vu kind of thing just to clear something up, just to reconnect a dot. But don't get stuck too long in the Six of Cups energy because it'll start to trick you into thinking that the way things were was the best way. Nostalgia is a very slippery slope in many ways because yes, it's beautiful to reflect on what's been and to feel that nurturing of it and what has held us and sustained us before and what love has been before. But Now's now, right? It's time to move forward. So there's also an integration of the past here as well. There's also a culmination, a healing of what has been. So all three of these cards, it's like a big threshold here of really checking in with where you have changed, where you are growing, and to release and let go of anything that's complete now. Because what are you setting up for? Commitment. And I'm not going to get super into it in this discussion, but Jupiter and Capricorn, so Jupiter and Sagittarius is all about expansion, opening all the roads, blasting everything open, getting things all moved around. Jupiter and Capricorn in general is about committing. It's about planting seeds. It's about planting intention and moving on it and really focusing in on it. And, Four of Wands and Chariot is very much about commitment. Yes, for those of you in partnership, this is very powerful energy of commitment, of making plans, of fusing paths moving forward. But this can apply so much bigger than that, because this is also about committing to a lifestyle. And yes, this is one of joy. It's one that works. This is a lifestyle that feels good, right? Four of Wands is about culminating, unlike the Four of Cups, which is about culminating emotionally and understanding something emotionally. Four of Wands is culminating in the physical. It's about like being in the physical celebration of something and feeling really celebratory. And it's, as the sun and as the energy starts to move into Capricorn, that is so in flow with Virgo energy. And there is just kind of this sense of a new beginning, a new horizon. You're clicking into something really big ahead of you. You're choosing it. You're consciously choosing it. There's depth here. There's connection here. There's a lot of water sign energy working its way through the discussion here. There is a connectiveness going on here with you moving forward on this path of joy and love. But of course, the Chariot is only about moving forward, right? There isn't really a chance to look back once you're in that chariot, like the chariots don't turn. They're not good at turning. They're good at going forward. The same with the Four of Wands. These characters have moved through the chuppah, or however you want to describe this, and they're moving forward into their next life. You can understand why you might want some time to culminate, to look back, to think, to give yourself that moment of grace before all this big evolution starts to happen for you. And we do, I think there's a big infusion of energy, a big infusion of new information. And then, of course, we get back into reflection again. But this is kind of your process this month, Virgo. It's important to keep in mind. You're sitting there, you're integrating, you're giving yourself some grace. You blast open to commitment and to new big commitments. And then you take another pause here with your soul. And I think that new moon eclipse is going to be really powerful for Virgos. I think it's going to feel personal and very much have to do with how you're using your heart chakra moving forward. And our heart chakra is super powerful. So if you have an eclipse hitting into that heart chakra aspect of yourself, you are having a reset in how you're giving of yourself and your energy and how you're sharing of that magnetic heart quality. The High Priestess and the Seven of Pentacles is a moment to listen to your soul, what you're no longer going to harvest and what you are going to harvest. There's a moment of pause and reflection here, and it's quite sacred. Around the time of the winter solstice, if you celebrate Christmas, any way that you're kind of celebrating that shift in the sun, and that connection to light and to God, to the universe, to divine energy, however you celebrate that, take your time and celebrate it and really take some spiritual practices at this time, whatever that is for you, and listen deep to the really clear wisdom that is coming through, because you are about to start on a new adventure. It's time. The Wheel of Fortune is the changing of the seasons. It's the rotation of the dial. It's the click into a new space. This is a perfect card for winter solstice, summer solstice if you're in the southern hemisphere. This is very much solstice energy, of that shift in season, of that shift into a new modality. And Like the Chariot, like the Four of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune doesn't look back. The Wheel of Fortune isn't interested in why things have been one way or why things were another way, or the Wheel of Fortune just knows that it's time to grow into your next version, to commit to this. And this is bigger than you. You're almost like, sometimes when we're really clicked into our path, when we aren't in resistance and we are really listening to that inner guidance system and following the cues, it's like we're a conduit of divine movement through the world. And, the things that need to get done, the calls that need to be made, the tickets that need to be purchased, the conversations that need to happen come through us very organically in those times. And that's very much the energy here. So while you're feeling that sense of being a conduit of all this change, the very human part of yourself, the very intellectual part of yourself is like, wait a second, I need to slow down. I need to look at this. I need to look around at my surroundings. Honor that. And kindle that sense of home in yourself. Kindle that sense of well-being in yourself so that you can take it with you on this big, huge journey of commitment moving forward into the new year and into really, really different new territory. I have some beautiful affirmations for my Virgo clan to take with you this December, and hopefully these will help you on this beautiful, bold journey that I see and feel for you all. Here we go. I feel at home in my body and in my heart. I trust myself to always steer my course in ways that feel warming and happy. I listen to the joyful, curious part of myself that wants to find out what happens next. I am protected and loved. And you are protected and loved. Whatever these transformations are, you are protected and loved. I love you. I hope you have a beautiful December, my loves, my Virgo family. I really do. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for what all of this new energy is going to be bringing your way. Like I said, Patreon is where you're going to be finding all of those discussions about new stuff coming up with this new year ahead and all of the transits, including Jupiter and Capricorn, which is already up. You also get the weekly magical astrology write-up, which is really helpful if you're just wanting to know how to work with the week you're in and be a little bit more in the moment. So if you've joined me, thank you so much. If you haven't yet, I would love to see you over there. It would mean so much. I will have a limited number of readings on my calendar for the first half of 2020. I will have readings, and we'll see how it goes and how many. But if you want to know when that calendar opens up, you can email me so I can include you in the notification list so that you know when my calendar's open and you can get on one of those one-on-one reading spots before they're all gone. So if you're interested in that, I would highly recommend you let me know so that I can get you set up on that email list. You can also find me on Instagram at SarahVerba and on my website, SARAHTAROT.com, if you're interested in learning more about me or contacting me with questions. And of course, y'all know I'm wearing PinkLune. As always, I wear her every day. If you are interested in getting handmade, beautiful, ethical jewelry, go check out her Etsy shop. She makes beautiful stuff. So, amazing place to go if you're looking for something for the holidays or just something for yourself to treat yourself on this journey. I love you so much. I will see you for more Moon Magics, for the first readings of 2020. Can you believe it? And all the adventures ahead. I love you so much. Take care, my loves.